Hi guys, today we will talk about our desire and how they come true unasked by us. This week I decided to look and clean up some files on Google Drive. And I came across a text document and decided to read what was inside. It turned out that it was a message to myself, and no matter how trite it may sound, I really forgot about this later and read it 5 years later. There was no time frame, but I wrote this to myself about who I would become when I read this file. And here are some points from this text. First, I will visit 2 or more countries, and so it happened. Until the moment I wrote this letter, I had not been to other countries, and the first country I visited was Egypt. My wife and I went there for a week's holiday and really enjoyed the sea. Although I myself am from a city where was a sea. The Red Sea is completely different. It is extremely beautiful, clean, with a lot of beautiful fish and sea animals. There I went scuba diving for the first time. It was an extraordinary experience. The first thing you need to learn to do is breathe through scuba gear. You need to inhale air through a tube in the water, but your brain simply refuses to do so. You think that instead of air you will breathe in sea water, and it is this barrier or fear that is built in your head. You just need to overcome yourself, trick your brain, and inhale water. We also visited the Pyramid of Cheops in the city of Cairo. Cairo is a very dirty city and there is a lot of smoke. But since it is the only surviving 7 wonders in the world, and I think it's worth visited for this reason. The second country we flew to was Poland. Since my best friend lives there and I got very cheap ticket, we decided to fly there. One of the places we visited was the large castle in the world. It is Marienburg. There were other beautiful places, but I don't want to go into the details of trip and tell more about the essence of this series of my blog. The second point in my message was this. I would say it's more abstract but tangible. It is associated with personal growth in career and finances. And indeed that is what's happening. It was one of the largest window and door factories in my country. I became the youngest representative on my region. Our plant once produced a window system for a skyscraper in New York. To be honest, I did not take part there, but I say this in order to make it clear about the scale of our company. I also became the head of our building, which had 60 apartments. I solved the heating problem and configured the system correctly. It was very difficult when you had to go against people's opinions, but the result was justified, and in the end, all of the residents were happy. You just had to figure out how it works and conduct an experiment, analysis, and calculation. In general, I code with the second point. The third item on my list was this. I must speak and write fluently in English, but as you can see, I did not fulfill the third point. I'm still in the process, and I hope in a year I'll stream here in English. To summarize, I want to say that none of the points has a limit, and I want to grow further and higher personally, the success of which will provide me with more money and give me satisfaction for a new skill. I want to visit more countries and learn outdoor activities such as diving, snowboarding, hiking, and so on. I want to speak English fluently when I don't have to think and translate words in my head, but just speak like my native language. So friends, I think we are setting the vector of our development, and it is very interesting to read such messages to ourselves later. You can give this mysticism something like the universe has our desire and will fill them, or God does this. I don't know the truth, and everyone believes as they like, but to some extent it works. For this reason, I advise you to try this, but don't think that you need to dream and continue doing nothing. Do what can lead you to your goal, step by step, and you will see the result. Even if you don't achieve your goal by the appointed time, if you go with discipline, you will get results. You will understand what it'd be like if you compare yourself, what you were and what you have become today. You will see the difference and it will be huge. Well, that's all, my dear friends. Thanks to everyone who watches this video to the end. Like if you were interested and leave me a comment that can improve my English. Cheers!